Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alliance Live Show 104. It's time to party. We're going to dive in here and talk a little bit about the recent Geonosian territory battles. I know we weren't here last week. There's definitely a reverb, like somebody has the volume on a little high in the background. I can hear that. But I hope everybody's having a good weekend. And as usual, I'm joined by the co-host with the most, good old Maurice. How you doing, friend?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
Good. Just exciting stuff, trying to understand what I have to do next to get really ready for the next GOTB when it comes back, so we can get, a little bit of a better score, a little more stars. But besides that, pretty good stuff. How about you, Evan Ash? We're joined by Avi as well. How's it going, Avi?
I'm doing great. Fantastic. Thank you.
Excellent. Glad to have you. And we're also joined by a special guest and special host and a special friend, RangerJ1999. How you doing?
I'm special.
I was going to say, you special friend.
He's a special friend. But, no, we're all friends. I mean, and I feel... like at this point,
let's not get crazy. We just met each other, good old Maurice. Let's work that out a little bit, all right?
I mean, if we could digitally hug, I would do it. But I hope everybody's doing all right. So, how did everybody do in territory battles? I know how you did, Avi. I mean,
I haven't slept for 2.5 days. Literally, I have not slept for 2.5 days.
Avi, you got to stop doing that.
I know, but it's quite the task to herd whales.
What a whale wants, what a whale needs.
How about you, Maurice? How'd you guys do?
What did we get? 27 stars.
Nice.
Yep.
Not
Got
bad.
a whole big bag of stuff I didn't need, but nonetheless, but carry on. I'm salty.
Yeah, the rewards are never as fantastic as they should be, but
they're good. I just didn't get the things I needed. I was really hoping to. I had two characters I could take to year 13. I just needed 25 of a couple different things and just got everything else. But
of course.
Yeah.
How about you, Ranger? How'd you fare?
We got 28 stars. And I did get a lot of stuff that I needed. So it was like, yes! Suck it, good old Maurice.
Yeah, we did get 28, which is what we got last time, and we came pretty close actually to getting 29, but we were just missing some ships.
It's just ridiculous.
The ships. Yeah, in my other guild, we jumped from 25 to 28 stars, and that's even after losing some GP and some high GP rosters. So we really came together for that one.
Well, we got 26 last time. We got 28 this time. We'll shoot for 30 next time. But good Lord, that day 4 is just... You have to really love yourself to put yourself through that.
Well, I think a mistake a lot of us made the first TB is we went into that Dooku mission like bosses, bringing all of our best characters, right? And then we're all like, oh, God. And now this time you're like, well, you got to use Dooku. Just use... save those droids for a different mission. Like save those separatist characters for other missions, and just tank that Dooku one. Because I don't know about you guys, but there's no chance in hell I can get that down right now.
We had a couple people try it, and they're like, So
just save your Grievous,
I just had them block it off and say, look, just put your best teams in the other combat missions, and just don't even try it. It's not worth the effort of losing elsewhere.
So I can think of 30 other characters to Gear 13, not Dooku. It's, he's not on the top of the priority list. But that's going to be a necessity. That's going to be a requirement to do that mission eventually.
Well, there's so many of those. You've got the Geos you got to get squared away. You got the droids you got to get squared away. Plus the other separatists. It's like, I'm just taking it. I'm taking them one team at a time.
And not even just the separatists, but then you've got your Darth Revan teams, you've got your possible Night Sister teams, you have your possible Bounty Hunter teams, and your
Darth Revan. What do you mean, Avinash? You have to give that shit up for platoons.
This is just dark side. Forget about
that's just dark side.
Light's going to be light side. They're going to just light side is absolutely 100% ready, and they're just going to drop it at any moment. So like as soon as you're in the thick of dark side farming, that's when light side will just drop right on you.
Everybody's going to be caught with their britches down.
Wouldn't be the first time. I know what you mean.
But it's definitely interesting in that Phase 4 definitely gives you a reality check.
Big
on
time.
What's going to be needed, and it ain't going to be just the G13 gear.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Geonosians. So that's really the main topic here. Is obviously we just recently had the rework, and we see now with Geonosian Brood Alpha as leader that they actually are a pretty good team. How good are they really? In comparison to other teams right now, let's say in GA and TW, where would you rank the Geonosians right now? Would you consider them like a tier A team, a tier B team, and give an example of let's say another team that they're kind of on par with or on level with for context.
Well, they're tier B. But they're middle of the pack, right? So there's certain teams that do very well against, like Night Sisters. They'll slaughter them, right? But they're the perfect rock, paper, scissor kind of example that you want from this game, right? They're good against certain teams. They're great on offense, but certain teams on offense kick the crap out of them. JTR absolutely destroys the bugs. Especially if you have Holdo, they get no chance. They have no chance in hell of even getting the turn. They're going to get slaughtered. Scav Ray's going to go in there and just beat them to death with their stick. And I had a match against Geos, and I was testing that. I'm like, how good is AoE Days? They never got a turn. Between the turn meter reduction from R2 and BB8, the team that I was running, they never got a chance. I don't think I got one hit on me. That was the only they got one chance to hit me on one character, but they didn't get a chance to go at all. Especially with the AoE Days. So they're great on offense, and they're solid on defense, but they've got counters. So I think they're middle of the tier. They're a good team. They can be great on offense or defense. They're not overpowered. They can beat certain teams, and certain teams can kick their ass, which is kind of where you want a team, right? So I think they're in a really good spot.
You pretty much summed it up. I would rank them right next door to Bounty Hunters, First Order, like Karth, teams like that. Just very solid. They're probably going to get one shot on defense, but you got to use a good team to one shot them. So, they serve their purpose. I think they're slightly better with Dooku. I don't know what the best fifth to take out is though.
Poggle sucks.
Yeah, it's just that turn meter removal is kind of handy.
I know, but he's so sad, man.
Terrible. Yeah, he's bad.
Terrible. I'd rather have like Newt in there or something, you know, so they get extortion or something. Jesus, I mean, good Lord. The other ones are okay, you know. So I mean, the additions they added, and you know, Sunfac is solid. Geonosians Soldier Spy's even a solid.
Spy's awesome. Well,
I mean, Poggle's great.
Yeah. I was like going, "Whoa, what just happened?" Because I just one shot.
But Poggle, man, he's just that weak link that you're just like, oh Lord in heaven, man. Do I have to have? He's like that kid you got to have on the fifth on the dodgeball team. You're like, look, just stay over here. Don't get hit with a ball. You know, just don't mess this up for us. And then he messes it up for you. You know, so
Poggle really just is like a non-existent character. I mean, there's no.
It really is.
There really is no reason for Poggle. I mean, like I don't understand why they didn't do anything with him. I mean, you know, you figured they would have made him like better. Like, you know, at least
they did. They gave him an AOE cleanse. I mean, they gave him an AOE cleanse.
But I mean, at least decent. I mean, like, listen. I mean, do you like Poggle?
No, he's a support character that just ability blocks the whole team. That's all he does is remove
if it does hit.
Yeah,
right. But I even like Logray. I don't like Poggle. You know, that's the problem. And maybe it's just his name. You know?
It's kind of like he's just kind of like a turd that just doesn't flush.
No, I can't get rid of him.
I don't like Newt Gunray either, to be honest with you. I mean, like, you know, the fact that he's a necessary character on my roster is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But whatever.
Well, you can run. I think the Count Dooku one's good too. I mean, you could. I mean, there's the good thing about the Separatists, the way they've expanded the roster. You can kind of mix and match a little bit, right? And I like that. You can go with different setups. If you want to go full droid and the full Geos, you can. If you want to add something to either one of those teams, like a Newt, like a Count Dooku, you can. So that's kind of the cool thing about Separatists, and I'm hoping they do the same thing with the clones and the Jedi. You know, we get some new Jedi, they rework some of the Jedi, and we get some new clones that we can kind of mix and match and have a little bit more fun, diversifying stuff. You know, with the rosters.
So, if you were to try to, let's say, run the Geonosians in Arena right now, how would you fare?
Poor. You'd never
Very
take
poorly,
a turn.
Yeah.
They're very, very slow. I mean, there's just no way around it. Against the Darth Revan team, they might take a turn. They just get pulverized. Just, you know, not good. I tried. Somebody just mentioned in the chat, you know, what about, you know, Basila and Spy? Yeah, Spy just never takes a turn. And then if he does take a turn, you're likely dropping the hammer on Sith Trooper or just going to piss off Malik. You're like, it's not super effective.
No.
Yes.
I think for droids, so if we talk about Separatists and we talk about Geos, Separatists the droids are phenomenally good. Once you get them geared and stuff, they can be used on offense and defense very effectively. I mean, especially if you get your Grievous to 13, that turd muffin is that team is a pain in the ass to take out on GAC on defense. It actually cost me in GAC today. I full cleared the guy, he full cleared me. It came down to one battle. I ran my Jedi Knight Revan, and I just barely ran out of time clearing his B1. That was the last character up because it was just, we were going back and forth. He'd wipe me out. I revived. They were healing. It was nuts, right? Gear 13 Grievous is no joke. That dude will wipe out your team in no time. So you have to really try to control it. So they're a really, really good team. They're the top echelon teams out there. Geos are a little bit more, even with Brood Alpha, they're like good old Maurice said. They're like your Karth. They're like your bounty hunters. They're solid, but they can kill stuff like Night Sisters. Geos will crush Night Sisters.
So they're
that's good for a lot of players.
They're kind of like faction specific, is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, they have their uses, and they can be good on defense. They're a backline defensive team. They're not a frontline defensive team.
We got a super chat here from Minato Namikaze.
No, that's Minato Namikaze. You better say the fourth Hokage's name right.
Minato Namikaze. I mean, Minato Namikaze? I mean, it's pretty close.
No!
Pretty close.
Damn it, Remon, watch some Naruto, goddammit.
Okay. I mean, Minato. I mean...
No, this isn't potato. Listen
like
here, you're not
tomato.
ruining my favorite anime. Goddammit, you're not doing that.
Anyway, thank you very much. He says, hey, Ramon, sup, Ranger, Maurice, howdy, miss. He wants to say hi to us. So, hello to you. And, yeah, I mean, I think that they're going to be okay. And again, you know, they'll just be like kind of an addition to your GA team or your TW team as kind of an extra team you can use because, you know, you can't ever have enough of those. I mean, to be honest with you, especially in Grand Arena, you know, you need to have teams that can take out certain other teams. And, you know, this team definitely is a counter to some of the metas out there or, you know, lower end teams. But what do you think about the separatists in general? I mean, do you think that once we get like Wat Tambor that there'll be like a real solid team for Newt Gunray and the rest of these guys, or do you think it's going to be just a situation where you know there will never be like a solid? I mean, because we already have the separatist droids, right? So that's like one team. Okay, then you have the Geonosians. That's another team from the separatists. What makes up the other team without taking characters into play, like for example, like Asajj Ventress, who you kind of need for your Night Sister team? So you're not going to use her with your separatists. You're going to use her with them. So, I mean, what do you think is left there? I mean, you know, you have Dooku, you have Newt Gunray, you know, you have, you know, a few other pieces. You're going to have Wat Tambor. I mean, let's just take a look here at the separatists as a whole, and we'll just kind of discuss from there.
It could be they could be more along the lines of a Kira Karth type of a thing, to where, you know, they're not going to be meta or anything, but they're going to be taking up like a good team to waste on them, basically. Kind of like Karth and Kira teams.
I just don't see enough characters to make another team. I mean, I see, you know, the 5 Geonosians, you've got the 5 separatist droids, and then there's, you know, there's Newt Gunray, Asajj, Count Dooku, and Wat Tambor. And like I said, Asajj is kind of already part of another, you know, faction, and you're really going to probably get the best use out of her in a Night Sister team. So, what is that? And, you know, maybe even Dooku, you know, may not even be best in a separatist team. I mean, probably he would be, but so let's just say you count Dooku, Newt Gunray, and Wat Tambor. What are you doing with them? I mean, like, they're just like, you know, are they? You think they're going to add other characters to make that team work? Or, I mean, you know,
they're fillers.
Yeah, I
they're
think they're
requirement characters.
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
You figure with the extortion mechanic in the game and that they added that they're going to do something like to make, you know, Newt Gunray like a viable option for a team, right? I mean, it just seems like he's kind of like a throwaway character right now, other than, you know, the fact that you need him, you know, for TW.
Well, a lot.
It's like the Hoth brothers. You know, you need them, but they're not the best characters, you know, for... Yeah,
they're so much worse than Newt at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, at least with Newt's rework, he can do some stuff. I mean, the droid team is the droid team. The other thing is, I don't, you know, we'll have to see when Watts gets in, really play with him, where he would fit on a Geo team. What kind of Geo team are you going to use, right? I'm not talking about Geo TV because there's certain requirements, but which kind of lineup do you go with? Do you go with like a Newt Gunray, Count Dooku, Wat Tambor, Brood Alpha, and say like Sunfak or Spy, something along those lines? I mean, I actually faced today in GAC a team, and this was a team: Newt Gunray, Count Dooku, Asajj, Zombie, and Daka. That team was a pain in the ass to deal with, man. So, I mean, Good Lord. I won, but good Lord, was that team a pain in the ass. So they stealth a lot. There was the extortion going on. So, I mean, you can kind of mix and match, but besides the droids, I think it's just going to be a mixed match. There are going to be characters that, like just like with Lightside TV, you need them. Maybe you use them on a team here and there. They're background characters. You're not going to really think about them.
I think a lot depends on if you're using Grievous differently. Like there are a lot of counters out there right now. An 88 lead, an HK lead, Dooku lead. All of these include General Grievous, which leaves you these leftover separatist droids. And I mean, Newt Gunray and IG-100, or not IG-100, Newt Gunray and B1. Just that's a nasty combo. And you throw Wat Tambor. Wat Tambor could even be thrown with Dooku and Newt Gunray, right? Sure. And just Wat's kit is universal, so you could bring in any other two characters there to kind of plug in there, and you can still apply like Wat's bust would still work. I'm really looking forward to trying a Vader lead, like a Vader, Newt Gunray, Dooku, Wat Tambor, I don't know, Shore Trooper, some sort of tank. Just have Wat pop those dots. You know, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Wat's gonna open up a lot of people's rosters, and just he's gonna be the ultimate plug and play character. Will he be great? Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be Thrawn and Nest good, but I think he's gonna be very usable. Just kind of make up some garbage teams with him. So
yeah, it'd be nice to have a bit of a variety. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We also got another super chat from 08 Blaze 83. And he said, torn between second Jedi Knight Revan Zeta, Han Zeta, or light side Basti Zeta. I think
Han Solo, baby.
I think you gotta go. No, I think you gotta go light side Basti. I mean, light side Basti.
No way.
That'd be the one I eliminate.
Yeah, that's the one I would get rid of.
Light side Basti Zeta makes a whole team pretty decent. I mean, you can she's another leader, you know. So
no, you could put her on Jedi Knight Revan, not have her leader, and it's just as effective. Yeah. Now, then it comes down to Jedi Knight Revan and then Han.
Yeah,
however,
probably Han most likely. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because Han really without his Zetas, you need that one, and Jedi Knight Revan takes 3 anyway. And if I'm going to go for one already, if you got his leadership, you can do something. But Han Solo, man, that Zeta is killer, and the CLS team is pretty disgusting.
Yeah, it really does make the CLS team. I mean,
But that kind of depends on what components you have, right? Like, so I mean, like if he doesn't have Chewbacca, I mean, does it make sense for him to do Han or put another second one on
Han?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. Han can fit just about anywhere.
Yeah, Han shoots first, baby, and then his Zeta with his damage, you get that bayonet on him. I mean, Han before Chewbacca was sick. You know, so Chewie just made him absolutely just ridiculous.
I've got people in my November 2015 shard running Han on their Darth Revan teams right now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things I want to mention,
he doesn't have CLS or Chewie.
He doesn't have them yet.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, I'd say Jedi Knight Revan then probably.
You're like honestly, like whichever one you pick. The one you didn't pick is probably going to be your next one. So I don't. Those should probably be the top 2 choices without looking at the roster. Those are pretty high demands. Those both are. And Bastila, you will probably want to get as well once you develop.
Eventually, yeah. But it's not a necessary. I mean, her leader Zeta is only for like if you're going to split up the Jedi and maybe use her like to kill like a Night Sister team or something, right? Which a lot of people have done before.
Go for Jedi Knight Revan. Do it. Do it. He's got a 1.1 GP.
Well, so here's the thing that I would tell you, 08 Blaze, as well. If you're developing your Jedi Knight Revan team, then you want to go full in on your Jedi Knight Revan team. If you're just trying to pick between 2 characters, you don't have CLS, you don't have Chewie. Han's still pretty damn amazing, but if you're trying to develop your Jedi Knight Revan team for your arena team, then you want to go with the Zetas for your arena team. If that's what you're using it for.
Yeah, and thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. So Yeah, I mean, what would you say are the priorities here for farming right now? I mean, obviously,
Oh God.
There's probably a lot of people that are behind the ball with B1, so I'm assuming that's your number one, like, shard farm. They did also reduce the cost of
That's been so nice.
refresh for ship energy, which is fantastic. 50 refresh, just like the regular energy now, makes it so much more. It makes makes it more worth it, really, to invest the crystals every day to refresh that ship energy 3 times, 50 energy each, and farm characters out of there. And there's been a lot of characters now that have kind of compiled up. So you have Anakin Starfighter in there, you have Enfys Nest in there, you have a lot of characters in there now, and several ships as well, those Sith ships. And I do believe that something eventually down the road is coming for those Sith ships. So I already got my Emperor shuttle to 7 stars, and I'm working on the other 2 in the background when I can. It seems like there's so many things to farm now with these Gear 13 pieces as well that you don't really know where to put your energy at the moment. I mean, where are you guys focusing the majority of your daily energy right now? I mean, are you spending it on shard farming at all? Are you spending it on solely, the Gear 13 salvage and whatever pieces you need to accomplish Gear 13? Or are you guys farming? What are you guys doing right now?
So mine's pretty simple. I'm using the 50 with the ship energy to get B1 done. I'm also farming Jodica's node because Jodica and Xanadu are on the same thing, so I'm working on getting both those to 7 stars right now. All these characters are 6. The big investment I'm making right now, I'm also doing IG-2000, get him to 7 stars, so next time Falcon comes around, I can get 7-star Falcon. But other than that, the only other farm I'm working on right now is I'm investing 3 100 Cantinas energies or crystal refreshes for Geonosian Brood Alpha. I want to have him done within, I'm averaging 10 to 12 a day. Today I actually got lucky and got like 15. Some days it's 9, some days it's like 15. So I go 10 to 12 on the average. I need probably another 12 days at that rate, and I'll have him 7 stars. I've already got him gear 9. Next 8 is going on him. That's the big investment. But I am spending 50 crystals as well on B1 Battle Droid to get him done. It's because I'm 16 out of 100. It's making it quicker to get his stuff done. So I like it a lot that I can do that with B1.
Yeah, I'm going to be trying to get the guild pushing to get like B1 up there. Definitely, we got to see some progress to be able to, crank out those extra battles with extra GP with extra stars. Yeah. One of the things too is that ships are might give you that extra star in that sense, because I know that we're going to be off a bit in GP to go to the next star for tunes. So I think that it would be really good if we can get the guild to concentrate on a lot of the dark side ships to be able to complete the combats, even though a lot of us have to platoon Houndstooth in especially at the end there. But if we can come up with some good combinations, which I'm finding some really good ones, then I can put together a plan and get the guild to work on some of those ships.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of those Gear 13 Marauders floating around in the high end guilds now, just for that trying to make that bomber work. Just come on.
Oh, I love that bomber. I love
good.
It. Oh yeah, mine's G13. Yeah, that bomber is good. I love it. Gauntlet is another one. If you haven't gotten Gar Saxon and ISC or ICS or whatever his name is, up there, start working on him, because Gauntlet is really going to help you in the GOTB, especially if you don't have Houndstooth to back you up.
Yeah, no, that ship's probably the MVP of TB thus far. Like, you really don't have too many cleansing options, and that's you get your whole team dazed. Just like, oh, it's a very, very good ship.
I mean, if you're platooning, if you're platooning Houndstooth right now, then you have no chance in GOT.
That's not true.
You do, but if you get Mace or whatever, then you definitely have a chance. If you get Negotiator,
Your host.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I had Negotiator. I got Negotiator. I actually got
Negotiator every single time.
It's so bullshit. Oh God!
It was, and I felt like all the time I was hitting like wet noodles. It was like, dang, man, that protection is not going down. I can't seem to get the assist going with like the geos. Nothing seemed to work or fall into place. I was getting really frustrated with that. But I did come up with a couple of combos that were good and got me through the battles. It was some long battles, though.
Oh, they're long. I mean, I got to the end where it was like I was out of reinforcements, so was the other ship. But that damage from the Negotiator just eventually wore me down and took out my Houndstooth. I was like, well, damn it! And that's after I'd killed a couple ships with Chimera's big hit. I was like, come on, give me a break, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the time it's taken to do these battles? I mean,
my gosh!
Oh my goodness! I mean, I dread it. I dread it.
The accounts.
I dread it. I literally, when I come, and I'm like sitting there like, oh man, 24 hours left. I got to sit down and do these battles at some point. And it's just like, I mean, I know that, it's just because it's also not easy. So it's like you have to, like, you can't auto this. This is not like the other TBs.
Yep.
You have to sit there and do it. In most cases, and it takes a long time. The energy pool for these characters is absolutely through the roof, and I mean we're definitely not tuned for
the energy,
difficulty.
The tenacity, the defense, everything that blocks you will, and it's a slog fest, is what it is. If you don't have if you've got like really good mods on your arena teams, you've got to put your good mods on your various teams. That means you're taking mods off, you're doing loadouts, you're putting your arena team mods on. And then once you're done with that, then you've got to switch them over to another team. And then, it's a huge process to be able to do it. And I would just get exhausted staring at. I have a lot of experience doing a lot of those battles, but that's experience I really don't want. I want the time cut down. It took me probably 30 hours to get all the accounts done. Of course, in the meantime, I'm trying to coordinate everything too. So trying to egg everybody on.
That's literally crazy.
Yeah.
Avinash, that's crazy. Okay? It's just literally crazy. Okay, so what I'm saying is like, what I'm trying to tell you is like, I can't even stand that I have to do it for one account. One account. Okay? And what I'm saying is like, it's just, and sometimes, you get in and the battles are already done, or somebody already platooned your characters, and it's like, because you're thinking this definitely just throws things off. So it's been an interesting couple of GOTBs. I think it's just, like I said, I mean, we need to get this level cap increase, at some point, and I'm not, I've never been, into the idea of a level cap increase, but I do think it's necessary at this point to increase the character's power and kind of make that jump into the phase 4 area a little bit more realistic.
Well, they monetize these new pieces so quicker than they ever have before. I mean, you could immediately farm the brand new gold pieces, and now they've instantly put all these other salvage you need across the board in various spots. I mean, it makes you think they're kind of speeding this up. We're going to get a level cap increase. We're going to get 2 new pieces a gear through something. Like, they've really expedited this process. So, I mean, it's I think it's very feasible. If not for the TB itself, for whatever's coming right around the corner, maybe like a new raid or some more PvE content where it will be a necessity.
I would love it for one if they released a raid that was so absolutely ridiculous that nobody could beat it, and it was just something that really.
That's what they said this TV was going to be. We got people on the verge of 33 already.
Yeah.
You know, like just if they released a raid that was like really, really hard, and it was something that you just had to work at, like and it would be like a real achievement, like when it finally got done. So I mean, I know they're not going to do that. They're not going to go that hardcore. That's like,
that's like crossing the line into.
That's like Dark Souls territory. Basically just making it more like, it's really. I doubt they'll ever make a game mode that hard. But yeah, I think that's. They definitely are going to, add some new content, probably a new raid at some point. I hope we get the Death Star before it's all said and done, but I've been asking for that for years now, so. All right, so we're going to dive into our top 5. Well, actually, this week we have a top 10. So we're going to dive into a top 10. We actually decided to do a top 10 this week since last week we didn't have a show, so we figured we'd, give you guys double the package this week and go with a top 10, and it was also a suitable topic. We're going to be doing top 10 Zetas, so that's something we're going to look at here in a moment. So first, let's just look at the meta report. So now, really the only thing the only thing to discuss here really is I do see some Brood Alphas on there, and I do see that there's actually less and less Revan. Jedi Knight Revan. So, what was a character that was used in the thousands, now Jedi Knight Revan is down to just 513 at rank 1 in the arena out there, registered on SWGOH.gg. So it's really gotten to the point now where Darth Revan is almost absolute. So it's
we have a second chance at him now. It's like the second Darth Revan event's come around. No Malik yet, but we did get the Revan. Some people are starting to get him geared up and ready to go. It will be a full blue circle here probably for next week. It's gonna get a little silly.
Which makes me think that it's getting close to a time where that's going to change. So we'll have to wait and see, but that's where the top 10 leaders at rank 1 are right now, and the top 10 squad members are still the same, with actually Sith Marauder making it into the top 10 squad members at rank 1, which is kind of interesting. So do you think Sith Marauder is really getting that much play right now, where a lot of people are using their Sith Marauder instead of what character are you subbing out for Sith Marauder? Is it Sith Trooper?
Trooper, yeah.
That Gear 13 Sith Marauder is a boss. He's a boss.
Man.
Yeah,
you
he
put
hits
some
so hard.
offense on him. You get some good offense on. He can one-shot Revan. He can one-shot Malik, and it's a pretty sight to see. And it's like, boom, Malik is down. Yes, one shot. So, but Sith Trooper is still good in some instances, but Marauder is supreme. I love him on that team.
Yeah, Marauder's gaining traction, catching up to Grandmaster Yoda as that additional option for a fifth on a Sith team as well if you don't have Malik. So that kind of rounds out the top 10 and the meta report for the week. Now we're going to move on to the top 10 for this week. So, like I said, we're doing top 10 overall Zetas as of July 2019. So, let's dive right in here. Maurice, who do we have at number 10?
These are always tough. Number 10 is General Grievous, the unique Metalloid monstrosity is number 10. It's a super powerful Zeta, as you all know, but that's how good this list is. It comes in at 10th. It's just, we mentioned earlier, the HK leads, the 88 leads, any sort of creative way that you can get droids and or separatists to die and just fuel turns for this character. Just you can one-shot any team. You can just start taking out teams in one swipe. It's pretty, and this is a Zeta I personally slept on for a long time. It's something else. It just creates massive amounts of damage very, very quickly. You guys see it every day in TB. When all your other droids die in these TB phases, is like Grievous has just a small chance to finish off the phase for you just by himself. You know, it's happened to me a couple times now, so that's pretty cool.
It's that that extra damage he gets, like when, like I think I saw it on Tron's stream when he was doing a Grand Arena Championships battle, where like you have to have T3 on the team too.
Yeah. Well, that team, can beat Darth Revan quick. Yeah, you one shot the entire team with T3 Zeta in this Zeta. That is an option for sure. Yeah, you can use HK or 88 lead. We saw him in the meta report, just 100 or so 88s, and not far behind was HK. I mean, these are teams that utilize this Metaloid monstrosity Zeta, and it's not possible without it. So it's it will always. These are very long-term safe Zetas, right? This Zeta will always have little ways you can tweak it, manipulate it to just get characters to die, to do this and that, and he's always going to fuel just massive damage and so many turns off this Zeta. This is a very, very good one to have long-term.
That is our number 10 Zeta in the game. Moving along, we're going to take a look at our number 9. And we have here Enfys Nest, Fighting Instinct. So this is that Zeta, I believe, that gives her the...
Hail Steel, and she can ignore taunt. That's pretty much all it does, and that's all you need. I mean, that's... so that's why she's able to one-shot entire teams like the Ewoks. Before this rework, you can take out the bugs with Nest all by herself, just because she goes, and no matter how much damage you do to her, she's going to fuel that protection up, the purple bar, and then she'll just heal herself right back up to full health again. Anytime she counters, you attack her, she bypasses your tank and counters the character that attacked her. Just a real pain. It's like Boba and Jango, same sort of thing. You can hit whoever you want, whenever you want. Just a very, very good Zeta.
Yeah, I mean, the ability to ignore taunt is really the sick ability that she has. I mean, every turn she can just go, against whoever she wants, which is pretty sick. But I mean, Enfys Nest just overall is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can't believe that they made a character this good out of that movie. The Solo movie. I mean, I thought that we were going to get a bunch of throwaway characters, kind of like the Rogue One characters, where like, I mean, Baze and Sharut definitely had their time. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, overall that team is kind of lackluster as a whole. So I kind of thought we'd see the same here. But Enfys Nest is really a shining star. And definitely an essential character to have in the game. Period. I mean, that Zeta is a necessity to use her, and then she's also somebody that you can pretty much put in as a fifth on so many different variations and so many different lineups. So awesome to have that, yeah, for sure. So moving along, we have our number 8 Zeta in the game, and that is who, Maurice? Which Zeta? Maurice, are you there? I guess so.
Yeah, sorry. The choo-choo train full effect. The number 8 CLSs binds all things. It makes all the lists. It's getting kind of boring and repetitive, but it is still very, very good. We've got a character that has 2 debuffs on his basic and on his special, and anytime he lands one of those or any debuff, he fuels 10% turn meter, and everyone else on the team gets 5%. So just lots of turn meter gain, especially with his leadership that is a countering leadership. He counters, he lands 2 debuffs, fuels 10% turn meter to the team, 20 to himself. He takes lots and lots of turns. It's a very good all-around Zeta. He's still arguably, you can make a case, he's probably the best raid character in the game. Just an individual character. Everything break. We broke 2 raids with CLS now. Not quite the Sith raid yet, but I'm sure... Well, P3, you get there solo with CLS lead. So, he's always going to be a fantastic raid character for this because of this Zeta. So,
yeah, I mean, and this was probably number 1 on the list or number 2 on the list if you looked at this game maybe a year and a half ago. It's kind of fallen down a little bit, but it's still a very important Zeta to have. It's only kind of fallen down because of the fact that we've gotten so many meta changes since that time. But really, overall, I mean, just as a character that you can use in pretty much every area of this game, other than probably the arena right now. It's a Zeta you have to have, so it's definitely in the top 10. So moving along to our number 7 Zeta in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, we have Han Solo's Shoots First. So obviously the ability to double tap with Han Solo and ignore taunt is absolutely awesome. I mean, it's basically the perfect addition to this character, and something that we pretty much cried for forever when the game started, because the real death of Han Solo was pre-taunt. So once pre-taunt came out, you pretty much couldn't use Han Solo anymore, because of characters like Shore Trooper and Baze made it impossible to stun that character that gave the rest of the team turn meter, which is really what the use was for Han Solo, the fact that he could be the first one to attack in the match. So this just gives you the ability to ignore that taunt, and then also gives you the ability to double tap. And because he's such a hard-hitting character, that double tap is literally bananas. And he also reduces turn meter with his basic attack. So it's just overall just a fantastic Zeta. Makes him from an absolutely irrelevant character into a totally relevant character, and it's definitely one of the best Zetas in the game. What do you think, Maurice?
I was tempted to put this one a little higher, but it is. It's especially if you have C-3PO. Every time Han taps, he taps again, which can create 2 expos. And if you're using Chewbacca swoops in and pops all the exposes. So it's very feasible to one-shot squish your characters like right out of the gate. If you mod your Han and Chewie up and really get them decked out of the nines of offense, you can just one-shot characters. It's pretty cool. Just double tap. Remember that as basic. If they have less than 50% turn meter, it does 75% more damage, and that's applied to either shot. And if they have over 50, you reduce 35% turn meter. So that gives you either 2 shots to remove 35% turn meter if the first one gets resisted, or you can remove the turn meter and then pop them for more damage, or just double tap them for big damage. And so it's kind of situational how you can use it basic, and it's very, very good. The 10% crit chance that Zeta gives also gets him up to really, really high base. He has 35% passive, so it allows you to kind of put you don't have to do a crit chance set on him. You can do a health, you can do a potency if you wish, a tenacity, whatever the case, whatever you wish, and kind of just get more stats through modding because of that passive unique. So that's pretty good too.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And we have another super chat here from Minato Namikaze. He says, "What about the Zetas for the Eternal Twins, Ranger?"
Shut up.
That's our number 7 Zeta in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Moving along to our number 6 Zeta in the game. Who do we have here, Maurice?
Number 6, Emperor Palpatine's lead. Another oldie but goodie. This one keeps resurfacing. Similar to Rex, it always pops up, at least temporarily, to be a counter or something. It just was such a large pool of characters. The Sith and the Empire factions both get benefit from this Zeta. It's just such a huge health pool. You can throw teams together. Empire and Sith both are very, very debuff-oriented team, and every time one of those debuffs expires, Sith and Empire characters get 5% turn meter. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when Vader leads the match, throws his dots out, if you can, Culling Blade, a character with 2 or 3 dots and a speed down, that's going to feed 20% turn meter to the rest of your team, so you can really start get your whole team out in front. It's a very, very good Zeta, and it will be for quite some time. It's unfortunate they kind of we saw him rise when Darth Revan came out, then they nipped that right in the bud. It said Sith enemies can't gain turn meter. It's because of this leadership Zeta. So very, very good.
Would have been too broken. But he's obviously such an essential character of the game, and this ever since he got that Zeta, he's been able to benefit, like Maurice said, pretty much both the Sith and the Empire factions, and being that there's so many characters, under that umbrella, it really makes the Zeta such an important Zeta to have. So that's kind of why it's so high on the list, and it's important to have this Zeta to basically, give you an additional squad for, basically a lot of areas of the game. So, I mean, this instantly makes Darth Vader a better character. It instantly makes, a lot of other characters just overall better. I mean, like, you could talk about... Grand Admiral Thrawn. I mean, he also has a pretty good leadership ability as well. But overall, I mean, like I said, the Zeta benefits so many characters overall, so it's a must-have. So moving along to our number 5 Zeta in the game, we have Jedi Knight Revan's Leadership Zeta General.
Yeah, and this is going to be the only Jedi Knight Revan teaser, I guess. The only Jedi Revan Zeta to make the list. This is the one that the Zeta itself. Every time your Jedi's attack out of turn, they get 20% protection and deal 35% more damage. I mean, you got to think of all the Jedi: Jolee, Bastila, Hermit Yoda, Ezra. All these characters, just all sorts of assisting going on. The Basila's battle meditation provides counter chance. Just all sorts of ways this team can attack out of turn. The Mark from Revan himself calls them all in to assist. So it fuels a lot of protection. It's very, very good survivability. That's why these teams used to take 5 minutes. Like arena matches, Revan versus Revan were 4 minutes 50 seconds because of all this protection regeneration. And when the Jedi uses a basic ability on an enemy with bonus protection, reduce the target's max health by 10%. That seems confusing, but that is how people are just dismantling Nest. Remember, they kind of tweak the way protection up works. And so characters like Nest, like Traya, a lot of these characters have a lot of bonus protection, the purple stuff. And if you focus a basic attack on them, it will shrink their health pool down, getting them down to the 2 and 3, the real small green bars. So this is actually super, super beneficial in various situations. And I think that's what the Zeta itself does, and then there's a strategic advantage, but you don't need the Zeta for that. So,
I mean, it's this is Zeta's a must-have. It just is. If you have this character and you want to make any kind of an effort in Grand Arena, TW, in Arena, and you have to have this Zeta. So it's a Zeta that basically makes the faction instantly better than basically 90% of the game before Darth Revan came out. So this is just very important to have. So it definitely makes the team a viable team, and a Zeta that basically is a necessity to the game. So it's definitely going to be high on the list. So that's our number 5 Zeta in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Our number 4 Zeta, what is that, Maurice? What do we have here?
We got Padmé's leadership. She's jumped all the way up to 4 here. It's that good. It's basically it renders it like the whole team functions on protection up, right? So what it does is the Zeta itself adds the element where when they have protection up, light side allies resist all debuffs and can't be critically hit. We just talked about the Sith. We've talked about the Empire, even the Rebels. C-3PO adds a lot of exposed mechanics to the team that they're immune to all of that stuff. And so many teams focus on debuffs and even turn removal. I'm not sure if that applies or not, but the debuffs themselves, you can't be debuffed and you can't be critically hit. So that's why this team is causing a little bit of trouble on defense. It is a team that takes Traya to beat, and I mean that can be said for multiple teams. But it's very, very good Zeta. It's a Zeta that will have a long life, like a long shelf life. There's just so many Galactic Republic characters, and the Zeta actually applies to any light side character. So this is one that you can feel safe putting on. Her unique is also good, but I wouldn't consider it a top 10 Zeta. But this is one that you're going to want to have probably for the rest of the game. So.
Yeah, I mean, the character has really just become such an important character now. It's kind of surprising because if you asked me when she first dropped, I would have said that she was going to be important. But, I mean, really, this Zeta and this team, with a good Galactic Republic squad, can be the difference maker for a Grand Arena Championship match, or even TW if you're getting down to the bottom of your roster and you're looking for teams that can beat high level squads. And because the mechanics really just work so well, again, when coupled with characters like Anakin and Ahsoka Tano Padawan, she's just such a key piece right now, and this Zeta definitely makes that team work. So that's why it's so important on this list. So that's our number 4 Zeta in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Moving along to number 3, we have R2-D2's Number Crunch. So, I mean, what can you say about Number Crunch? It doesn't say. It's just such a great ability. Number Crunch benefits the team across the board. Pretty much whatever character you have in there, R2 is going to have a benefit for them, unless it's a dark side character. So it's such a huge Zeta because of the benefits for each faction. The max protection bonuses, the additional health bonuses, the damage bonuses that you get, the potency bonuses. So it's important, and I would say this again was just like CLS, probably number 1 or number 2 on this list for forever, ever since R2 came out. But just kind of took a back seat because how the game's evolved lately. But what are your thoughts, Maurice?
Mm-hmm. We lost somebody.
We lost good old Maurice.
Oh, that's who we lost.
Thus negating the possibility of good old Maurice giving his reaction. Oh, okay, there he's back.
Oh, darn it. Why didn't we just close the door and lock it? Jeez.
Yeah, that's my weekly internet spaz out moment.
Well, it's probably a lot better than having a fork through your hair constantly. So
That was.
I can't tell you how many people talk to me about that.
Well, hey,
they were asking me why does he have a fork in his hair, and I go, I don't know. Ask Maurice.
I was conditioning.
We were talking about number 3 on the list here, R2-D2.
Yeah, Number Crunch. We talked about this on, it was either the last one or the one before, how, if for those of you that are bold enough to take R2-D2 to Gear 13, this Number Crunch just gets massive. This is very, very good. It applies 10% offense, 10% max health, and potency across the board. So this is a max health, offense, potency, and max protection. We just talked about how many characters fall under the Galactic Republic umbrella. He's one of them. So you want to build your Padmé team real healthy. Get a lot of health on him. Throw in the R2-D2, and he's just going to boost it up even further. That protection up is going to go through the roof. He's always been good on CLS teams. Any sort of light side team that you have, he probably falls in line with the faction tag. Just very, very versatile character. And this just makes all the rest of your characters that much better. So it's very, very good for PvE. Unfortunately, we can't use him in the new TB. But for the light side version, he's going to be very, very beneficial. Very, very good raid character. Just PvE, PvP, all across the board. This Zeta will help you out for a very, very long time.
Yep. And that's our number 3 Zeta in the game. Moving along to our number 2 Zeta in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It is Darth Traya, Lord of Betrayal. So this is her unique ability, which this is, I believe, the one that drains the health, right? Let's see here.
Well, it's the one that just applies the ability to shed the debuffs once any Sith ally takes a turn. So as soon as the Sith turn meter bar fills up, it doesn't matter if they were stunned, ability blocked, dazed, does not matter. It just instantly disappears.
Reading a book, making some eggs, it's all good.
Right.
Yeah,
And for every dispelled debuff, she takes away damage from the opposing team. She inflicts a damage on the opposing team's health. That's why, slowly over time, the other team is just losing health, even if you don't attack those characters.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. You don't have to have her leadership. It works with any Sith character, regardless of where you put her, which lead. Does not matter. Just it is a unique. So it's just a great utility Zeta to have. It should be. I mean, you guys should have it. Like you guys should have a Zeta ready for this very specific one. Like if you're going after Traya, like as soon as you unlock Traya, you should put the Zeta on her immediately. Even a 5-star Gear 1, just put it on there. It's pretty much mandatory for the game.
Agreed. The
Yep.
Zeta is key, so you have to have it. So that's our number 2 Zeta in the game. Moving along to number 1. What is our number 1 Zeta, Maurice?
Well, just pick one. It doesn't matter which one it is, but it's Malak, Darth Malak. Gnawing Terror is the ability that causes him to fear anybody that basically puts a dot on him or critically hits him. Just to make this list semi-entertaining, we just put him once. But either of his Zetas, both of his Zetas are top shelf. He, in my opinion, is the very best character in the game. I mean, Darth Revan's cool, Bastlo's cool, but Darth Malak is the bee's knees.
Yep. You can't help
the
but
jaws of
love
life.
the dark
Yeah, go
side
ahead.
evil. You can't help but love the dark side evil stuff. You can't help it.
Yeah, he's awesome. And just the Jars of Life is other Zeta, and that's the one. The Zeta itself gives him those bonus turns that he's just gobbling up your team with. So I mean, either one of these Zetas, same as Darth Traya. If you're going after Malak, you're getting everything ready. Have 40 to go, ready to go for as soon as you unlock him. Put them both on. He is top 3 character in the game without question. I think but.
I would say he's definitely in the conversation for the best character in the game. I mean, there's a few other characters that are on the list, but I mean, who's he really up against? I mean, Darth Revan. What would you say is the third best character in the game?
That's tough, man. I don't know.
It's hard to say. You can go with a bunch of them because.
So really, it's between Malak and Darth Revan, is what we're saying.
Oh yeah, those two are ridiculous. I mean, those two. Good God in heaven, those two. But Malak, I think I got to go with GOM on this.
Yeah,
he can solo. It could be 3-on-1, and they can have their Malak, and you can still lose that fight if RNG goes against you.
Yeah, like if you're not using DR to counter DR in Gear Arena, you almost have to have I have to kill Malak team. Like, you bring in your counter team and you get them all down to Malak, then Malak just wastes your team. You got to have something to clean up Malak.
It's ridiculous how potent
Oh my
is.
gosh, yes. I have like 140% tenacity on him.
There's so many ways to build him. You can build him for damage. You can build him slow and tanky. You can build him tenacious. It does not matter. He destroys everybody regardless.
He just stares them down, and it's like, ha ha ha, you think you could put a debuff on him? Ha ha ha.
Or if you hit him and you have to attack him, right? He just sits there like, oh, we'll have a fear.
Yeah.
You have a fear. Oh, you took away half my health? I'll just get it back. It's ridiculous.
Here, let me grab that from you real quick.
Which really brings up the question. I'm convinced now they're not bringing him back for another couple months. Once we got past that 90 days, we get asked all the time in our sheet, like, when's Malak coming back? And we were kind of joking like Sing TM, but on the Jedi Academy this weekend, we talked about that it could be a 6-month thing. It could be another 2 months before we see Malak come back.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, and he's such an important character. Like you said,
that's why.
Like you said, the two Zetas really could both be here at number 1, and he's probably the best character in the game. So these Zetas are, once you have the character, immediately, have 2 Zetas for him to jump right into play. Yeah, absolutely.
Start saving your currency now if you haven't already. If you guys don't have Malak,
God.
You got to just save all these goodies you're getting from TV. Don't spend any of it. It's real tough, but then once you get Malak, you can just take them all the way to 7-star. You have everything ready for them. The gear, the Zetas, because as soon as you get them, take them all the way up. You don't even have to second guess it. Just a fantastic character.
Mhm.
You're going to need 68,400 Guild Event tokens, the Mark 1s, to get into 7 stars. You're going to need the new gear pieces. You're going to need the stuff to get him his Gear 12 Plus and Gear 12 pieces. It's a lot, but it is so worth it. Gear 13 Malik is redonkulous.
Broken the game. Like any counter we had has pretty much just completely destroyed it. It's Gear 13 Malik. We're having to use
I've got a team,
HK and stuff now.
Well, yeah, I've got a team to kill him. That if I usually go with like my Padmé team, and if Malik's to left, then I go in with Cassie and Jen, IPD, and I can't remember who else I go in with. I've got it saved, and just lock him down and then go IPD his ass. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's about all you can do because any other counter where it's not stunning or stuff, he's just gonna get his health back. He's ridiculous. So,
yeah, I mean, it's just he's just a great all-around character. I mean, and basically, if you are getting ready to get him, whenever he does drop again, also you're going to want to make sure that you're prepared for the event because I'll tell you right now, that's a hard one. So if you don't do it correctly and you don't have the characters right, you could be in a tough situation. Definitely make sure to watch videos like on Ranger's channel, Reality Skewed Gamers, or on the Operation Metaverse channel with good old Maurice, and check out tips on how to beat that event. They both beat it live on their channels too. So,
well, I think people this time around will easily beat it 1 or 2 tries in. The dark side battle is no problem, right? It's the light side battle. But we figured out the pattern. Remember, I gave it to you, and you beat it like first try. I think you did. You beat it, Remon. Unlike me and good old Maurice, who had to spend.
I think we were at like 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, okay, that didn't work. Let's try this. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try this. What in the tarnation going on here?
I did get through it pretty easily because of the guidance. That's for sure.
I've done that to you a couple times. I'm not helping you anymore, Remon. Now that I think about it, there's been a couple of us where I had to help me and get over Maurice, and the rest of us suffered through. And then we go like,
I don't know. There was that one. There was that one where you were just so stubborn and refused to get off Dengar lead to get Chewbacca. You struggled through that one. I mean, that was a good one.
That was rough, yeah. And then there was that. Remember that one where it was 1-on-1 with Dengar at the end, and both of their health was completely down in the yellow, and it's like Dengar just died. I remember I have the clip still saved. I gotta put that was crazy. But yeah, I mean, if you watch, definitely check that out. It's not that easy. So you just have to know the pattern, and if you know that pattern, it's a home run. But we do have an honorable mention, as usual, and the honorable mention for the top 10 Zeta list is not Cup. It is Vandor Chewy. So kind of a little twist here.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
It's not flashy, but you can pick 20 Zetas to go in this spot, but this one is going to have long-term use. Any scoundrel character, it applies to any scoundrel character, a light-side scoundrel. That includes Han Solo, Chewbacca, Enfys Nest. There's Captain Han. You see a lot of people run the annoying Vandor Chewy, Captain Han type Kira team, just the double revive. This is one that's going to pay off. Any scoundrel they ever bring into the game that's a light side will apply with this Zeta. It's very, very good. And you mod up Chewbacca right, it's pretty easy to get him up, his protection up, because he just has so much health, and just L3 prevents him from being. He keeps himself prepared at all times. So you can just revive characters over and over and over. That's why that Count Dooku team with L3 works, because Vandor Chewbacca just keeps reviving L3 dies. Joe Grievous swoops in with an AoE and just over and over and over again. Very, very not flashy, not real fun, but it is a very good Zeta.
Yeah, it also makes that team, that defensive team, that annoying defensive team for TW, like absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so I mean, it's a team that you definitely underestimate almost every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go in there thinking like, I could beat this team with this. and then you don't. So it's a very good Zeta to have, and it kind of makes a whole bunch of other characters a lot better for defense. Because of the benefit there. I mean, you get a bonus to Zalbar, and mission you get a bonus for Kira. And these characters now become more usable. So I mean, whenever you're looking at value for a Zeta, you want a Zeta that's going to kind of affect a group of characters or make a group of characters better rather than just benefiting that one individual character. And this is definitely one of them for sure. So. That is our top 10 Zetas in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I hope you do like that kind of thing, and the channel does appreciate any likes or subscribes or any comments shared by you guys. So of course, if you guys do appreciate that kind of thing, please do support the channel. It's always much appreciated. We're going to move along into some gameplay, and while we do that, we're going to collect some of the questions that you guys have in the chat. So for those of you that aren't here all the time, this is that time of the show where we typically do our Q&A segment. So any questions that you have asked so far in the stream, any questions that you'd like to have asked, please do type them into the chat now, and we'll get them situated for you so we can discuss them here momentarily. So let me just get Maurice's camera fixed, and then we will... Maurice, is your camera on?
No, I did. My internet dropped out here.
Okay, there you go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to reload that. All right,
so there we go. So, do we have any questions from before? I believe I saw a few pop up here and there.
We do. First one comes from DSP. Basila, ATF, and Spy Meta coming. Possibly.
Hey, yeah, it's right around the...
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a huge Fulcrum fan. The Spy, I mean, you can pair Spy with anybody now. It doesn't have to be buffs anymore. I mean, he works kind of like Boba. So, you could use him. Yeah, I mean, you could. I think it'd be a little excessive. Like, that's two characters. Hey, it's fun. Two characters, one shot, and I think Spy's gonna be best with the Geos, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But worth a shot, man. Makes vids. Send them our way. Christopher Pilcher. Anyone think the buffs made to those factions in TW was undercover beta testing? We talked about this. I'm not sure if it was here or over on Metaverse, but I think so. Like he's referring to the, they buffed the Jawas, they buffed the clones, they buffed Dooku, Grievous from time to time, Mace. All these characters kind of got little tweaks. It looks like it. What do you guys think?
We're like a public beta testing is what we are. Hey, let's throw this into everybody and have them test it for us.
I mean,
and then we'll consider it down the road,
I mean, I'm sure that kind of thing goes on. I mean, of course, I would imagine that they, send some things out there to see how, how it messes, how the interactions are. I don't know. I mean, they do have testing, that we know for sure. I mean, there is a beta program, but...
Yep.
But yeah,
what's Shakti? Her kit did kind of bring a lot of the elements that we saw for the clones, like a very scaled down version to it. Dooku was a little bit better in the TWs. He got a rework. Grievous, he was awesome in the TWs. He got a rework too, but it wasn't the same, I guess. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones.
I think what they did was they threw everything, including the kitchen sink, and then took a look at see what worked and what didn't, and then scaled it back from there.
Yeah, like we didn't get the big bomb from the Geos, but we got Spy now, so there were some elements in that as well with the regeneration and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's That's cool. I don't know why they were like. I don't know why they're so. Why couldn't they just tell us like, "Hey guys, we're considering buffing some stuff in the future. Here's what it might be. Have fun." But yeah,
I mean that's an age-old question, right? I mean, like why don't they tell us things in advance? There's certain things that I think are more time sensitive than others, but I mean it's one of those things where I believe that also part of the reason that the Game Changer program ended up where it did is because it's in their eyes, it's in their best interest for the public to find out about all these things and to be kind of explained from what they view as like an expert opinion from themselves. They don't want us to come out and say, oh well, we think this character's good or this character's bad. They don't want us to come out with and represent the company and say that this is what we think about this. And when it comes to relaying the information, of course there's a lot of things that they would prefer people don't know in advance because it behooves them for you to have to rush and panic farm characters and things like that. So I mean it's listen, this is probably one of the fairest games out there in the world. So I think that they give you a lot, that you can achieve on your own without having to spend any money. If you're willing to take the time and you're patient and you do what you have to do, this game definitely gives you that ability.
They're making it awfully tough now, though. It's getting increasingly less friendly as the time moves on here.
Well, this is a real big content drop. I mean, like this is not just like they released a new raid or they released a new, territory battles. I mean, they released Grand Arena Championships. They've released new territory battles. They've released a whole bunch of reworks to characters. The meta changed recently. They just had Darth Revan and Darth Malak released into the game. They've really released a whole bunch of stuff in a short window of time, making everybody kind of like kind of move this way and move that way. I mean, everybody was rushing to get their Old Republic characters for Jedi Knight Revan, and then hurry up! You gotta rush and get the other Old Republic characters for Darth Revan. And I mean, never in my world would I have thought that Darth Revan was going to be released as the next legendary character after Jedi Knight Revan. I didn't think like they were going to do both. They were going to do both right away like that. I mean, it's like we've had to make pivots like crazy, and they've become increasingly better at that business side of it, which is basically, kind of determining which way we're going to have to, duck and dive to get the stuff that we want to get out of the game. So, I would say when the game first dropped, they probably were, more learning, very much so, like how players react and what's the best way to release content. So, yeah, very much so, everything that we do is kind of like a big beta test for them to kind of determine what's the best way for them to make the profit that they need to make or they want to make, and for the players to be able to be happy with it, or at least be able to soak it in and accept it. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where it's at. And sometimes whenever those scales tip and there's a big issue, then there's drama in the community, and that happens periodically as well. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But overall, I think that's one of the main things that was like kind of like a point like that was really important to the company. I think when the whole Game Changer fallout happened was that they wanted control of how content got released, and that clearly shows how important it is to them. How they release their information and when they release their information and to who it gets released to. If that answers the question.
Yeah. Next question. We do have some more. Let's see. Jose, is Ranger going to be a staple on the show? Because if so, I'm definitely going to tune in more often. There you go, Ranger.
Well, I have definitely understood it as I'm definitely not going to tune in more often. You know, that kind of.
That makes sense.
Just kidding.
I mean, I kind of, I'm happy that you want to tune in more. Because Wade, I definitely, Ranger is definitely, a staple on the show for sure, and he'll be here, I'm sure, whenever he can or wants to.
I do what I want.
But yeah, I mean, he's a part of the show. So I mean, that's definitely a great question. I wish he would come here for me as well. Not just Ranger. I mean, I know he's awesome and everything, but I mean,
I am awesome. I'm amazing.
I think I'm pretty cool too. So I mean, I hope
that's true.
I hope I'm enough. I hope I'm enough for you guys out there. I hope it's not just Ranger. But
maybe if you fix your goddamn mods, Remon, people watch you more often, man.
I mean, I know that Abby and Maurice are great. I mean, I hope that some of you guys in here tune in for me too.
Oh, most of them tune in for you. It's funny. Someone asked me the other day because I'm doing remodding for for rosters now. They're like, "Would you ever do remons?" I'm like, "Oh Lord." But he's going to pay me a lot to do that one. I'll do it. I'll fix it. I'll fix this shit. But oh my dear Lord.
Dude, I'm just going to give you my password and you just figure it out for me, okay?
As long as you pay me. You better pay me, man. It'll take me about 8 hours.
Listen, a vault of crystals will just mystically appear in your account. Okay? But but yeah.
Mystically, how that works. Wait a minute, did I get hacked? What is happening?
You can't just mystically. I can't just gift it to you. Like, I'm going to contact CG and get them to gift you, and then I'm going to pay them. So you can get it as like an inbox message that says, sorry for the inconvenience. Here's 15,700 crystal.
Sorry for the inconvenience of remodding Remon's account.
We apologize for the inconvenience. This is 15,700.
There you go. Science.
We also got to do another character review. Me and Ranger. We haven't done one in a while.
You guys did one.
No, we did a couple. We only put out one.
We did two, and I have another.
Which
one.
Makes me think, do I want to do that again? God damn it!
I have another one recorded. The thing is that it's like this. The audio is like not great. So I was kind of thinking we would redo the audio on that one, but it's like really I mean the audio for the first one is like really bad. I have to like fix the settings on. Anyway, that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, I mean that's where I'm at with that. But we definitely need to do another one if you ever have the time. That'd be awesome.
Almost down.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can do a lore video together.
We could. You know me, I'm always doing lore, so I'm working on my next one. So
I want to do a lore video with Maurice as like a third person in there, and
that'd be a terrible idea.
I want to just kind of get Maurice's opinion as a person that has no idea about the lore.
Oh Lord.
Just like
when you guys start diving deep into the comic books and stuff, I don't know who any of those characters are. I just listen to you guys. That's cool.
That's why you should watch my lore videos. Go to Maurice. Yeah. You should just. I've done 10 of them. Good.
I enjoy learning about the lore. I just don't have anything to contribute.
Ranger is definitely an expert. I mean, I know like my stuff, but he definitely knows his stuff. So I mean, like there's like a.
It's insane how much stuff there is out there. Even with the vast knowledge that I have, I am shocked on some of the stuff that I've forgotten more than I remember because of just how much garbage. It's just crazy how much crap and
I learn stuff all the time. Like, you know,
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's-
Like, you know, like if I hear, like I'll hear stuff and be like, oh wow, that's crazy, you know. And there's really something out there for everything. I mean, you know, just recently, you know, there's been some talk online about what happened with Palpatine and Anakin's birth, and there was actually a comic release that showed like an image of Shmi. You know, when when Anakin was in the comic. This is during the Vader comics that are canon. Actually, they're canon comics. So
yeah, Vader is canon.
So the Vader comics are canon, and Vader went into this other world. Like, he used like his castle, the Vader castle on Mustafar, and he was able to summon the spirit of this ancient Sith Lord who somehow tied his essence to this mask that he wore when he was a Sith Lord. And the mask, the guy's name is Momin, okay, Darth Momin, all right, and Momin basically is trying to help Vader be able to, because he wants to go back and like save Padmé. Okay, so he wants to go like into this, you know, kind of like the world between worlds that you saw on the episode of Rebels with Ezra, where he goes into that world between worlds and is able to save Ahsoka from that battle with Vader. He wants to kind of go there and save Padmé, you know, and he basically goes into this other like dimension, and he sees a vision of his mom Shmi, and you can see like Palpatine's shadow behind her, and like the words he's saying basically indicate that like he impregnated her using like he manipulated the midi-chlorians to make Anakin like in her belly. So, and if you look at the original scripts for the Revenge of the Sith, actually Lucas wrote in there a scene where Palpatine explains to Anakin that he kind of is his dad, and that makes the scene where he turns to the dark side with Palpatine probably a little bit more viable, like a little bit more acceptable. Like when you tie that in, you know, because you leave that out, it really just is like a straight betrayal against like against Mace Windu, and you know, against Kenobi, and you know, all these things.
Yeah.
It really just kind of doesn't make sense. But when, you know, Anakin thinks about it, and if Palpatine explains it correctly, you know, he kind of manipulates his young mind and explains that, you know, that he kind of is his dad in some way. He helped create him because his mom was you know, impregnated with a virgin birth, you know. So there's a lot of like, you know, religious undertones there. But basically Lucas's idea originally was that Palpatine, like he told Anakin in that opera house, you know, basically learned the power to manipulate midi-chlorians to create life.
Well, he learned, yeah, that comes from the Darth Plagueis novels and,
yeah.
You know, his master and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of, and everyone kind of suspected that was kind of the deal. And I think you make a great point about Anakin. If you just watch Revenge of the Sith and nothing else, you know, just watch the prequels, you're like, God damn, you know, that's a quick turn. But if you watch the Clone Wars, the animated series, and I can't wait for this new series coming up, it's really going to expand his character, because when you see stuff like Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order, things of that nature that have a huge impact on him, and the overall war and what it has an impact on him, then you kind of see, you know, why he was. It wasn't just a quick turn. It had been something that Palpatine had been working on for a while. We can get on this forever. I'm sure there's other questions.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, but it's actually like legitimately canon now. So Palpatine is kind of Anakin's dad. So I mean, not really, but he created Anakin. So I mean,
Yes.
So in a sense that's in the comics now. So
It's pretty cool.
yeah. Well, it could actually tie into Episode 9 somehow. I mean, they could legitimately like have like the actual like unveiling, the movie unveiling of like where Anakin came from, and Palpatine could tell Kylo in like some, you know, however Palpatine comes back, he's going to be in the movie. So whether he's just like a spirit or he's talking through a robot or whatever, he could tell Kylo, that he's really Anakin's dad, so he's kind of like his grandfather also. So I mean, it's I think that would really tie all the stories together, and that's kind of one of the things that what's his name? Forgive me, the director.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams said he wanted to do, right? Like he wanted to find a way to tie up all 9 episodes in Episode 9. So it'd be interesting if he brought the parentage of Anakin into it somehow. That'd be kind of cool.
The dark side of the Force.
Anyway, yeah. That next question.
All right. This one comes from Nathaniel Miller. Does anyone else think the Grand Arena Championship League system is too easy to climb through? I'm 2-5 in matches so far, and will hit Chromium tomorrow without paying much attention to feats.
Well, I think it depends on how well you do. Like, I've full cleared all my matches, but I've lost 2, but I full cleared. So the only thing I'm missing is for the victory is that extra 1,000, right? So I think if you put the effort into Grand Arena Championships, because really all you need is Chromium. The next 2 leagues after that, which is, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, Erodium and Kyber, right? That's just a little bit more rewards, just some of the things. It's bragging rights, but it's really immaterial to what you need for the store, right? As long as you've got Chromium, you can get anything you want out of the store. So, but yeah, I think it just, if you put the effort in just a little bit, win some matches, and how you win your matches, because it's not hard to get to Chromium. I'm already Chromium 2. I'm well on my way to Iridium. So I think it just depends on I think with anything, the more effort you put in, the less effort you put in. I mean, I've done a lot of the feats too, so that's made it easier as well. So I don't know. That's just kind of how I view it.
It'll be interesting to see how people get to Kyber. I've lost one myself, and like I was kind of doing the math today, kind of spitballing it. I don't know which feats are going to pop up or how often, but it's looking like it's going to be tough for me to get to Kyber just with one loss.
Well, I was looking at if I don't get any of the victory points, right? If I just get I need 19,000 more, right? If I get 1,900, which is about what I've been averaging in points and victories, even though I've lost some, I should have more than enough. And then the other thing I didn't factor in is you get 720 points for every time you place your defense gets placed, right? So you're getting 2,500 a match. I'm sorry, you're getting 720 a match just by being there. So if you win, say you get around 1,900, that's 2,600 each one. Win or lose. The 1,000 just makes it easier, but it's very feasible. You can lose some matches and still hit Kyber. So
they don't want to make it like I mean, if you can't even get to Chromium with minimum effort, that's the second tier. Like they're going to make it easy to get to those 2, because like you mentioned, you have to be able to buy that stuff in the shop, and it doesn't takes. You don't have to be a superstar to get to Chromium. Erodium, I think, if you win 2 every time, maybe the occasional 3. I think you could probably get to Erodium if you get your feats done. Kyber is for the very, very competitive people. If you're not very competitive in it, you're not going to make Kyber, so just set your sights on Erodium. Once you get to Erodium, just hang out. There's somebody asked, was talking how time-consuming and so on these Grand Arenas are. It's just, once you get to a comfortable level, like if you really can't progress, you can take a couple off. Get in there and just test stuff out, just defenses. Don't be an ass, but it's going to be different for everybody, and they will. These are going to get very, very time consuming and taxing as the months press on. That is true.
Yeah.
It's just if you like to do it or not. Some people like the GOTB, no matter what the time consumption is. They enjoy it. Some people
enjoy it, just not on that.
Well, you're running 5 goddamn accounts, Avinash.
Well, I had 4, but yesterday I picked up 2 more. So,
oh my God, Avinash!
Just say no.
Moderation, man.
No, those are. I've got players for those, so
Okay.
that's not a problem. It's just I'm the in betweener.
You're the
in betweener, but I'm down to 4.5, so I'm good. But I've got 3 of them in Grand.
I got your 3.5s. I got your 4.2s.
She's the pimp. Avinash is the pimp. Yes.
4.5. Yes,
Like what you got? What you want? I got a 3 million GP. I got a 4.2. I got
I think the right thing
5.3 Kraken. What you need, baby?
I think the right thing to do right now, Avinash. Okay, the right thing to do is who do we speak to a little bit earlier? Let me see here. The right thing to do is to get in touch with 08 Blaze 83, who has a 1.1 million GP, and give him an account tonight. Give him a 5 million account tonight. Make this guy say Avinash is the greatest person in the world. Okay, this is like almost like a charity. I mean, like we're.
They say no charity. The first one's free. The second one.
This is gonna be like is gonna be like the Oprah Winfrey show. We're giving away. That's
how Avinash looks.
I have processed through me, and this isn't even helping people set up transfers or anything like that. I have processed 35 accounts.
God damn.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I have had at one point.
Donate your account to that guy, and I bet you he'll never forget you for this.
Mm.
You know? I mean, he instantly becomes like a relevant, like meta player. Like, I mean, he probably.
No, he doesn't. He's got 1 million GP. He's never played with most of those characters. He's gonna be everything.
He's gonna be. I'm gonna use Jedi Knight Revan and Thrawn and Vosk, and I'm gonna do. Wait a minute. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean,
he's gonna get in some Kraken guild. They're gonna be like, "All right, we need you to do this in TW. What's TW?" Don't let that benefit.
He's probably sitting there saying, "Hey guys, shut up! Shut up! What are you guys talking? Shut
up!" Christ.
DSP. If you don't count 3 characters, Rebels are the worst main faction in the game, right?
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
You got, well, you're not counting 3PO and R2. Old Ben's pretty solid. Chirrut and Baze are okay. Rogue One has its usage, but it's not great. Yeah.
Well, if you take out CLS, Han, and Chewie, and I get to take out Thrawn, Palpatine, and Vader from the Empire's way worse.
Yeah, Empire sucks.
Yeah.
I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Scoundrel's the best faction in the game, by far.
Yeah, it's got such a nice variety. I love I love mixing and matching.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, Scoundrels, you can do so much with so many characters there.
Gamorrean Guard, yes.
Yeah.
I've got I used my what was it? I put Scoundrels and then I have my Gamorrean Guard for Grand Arena, and every single time he gets two holds.
Hey.
Because they underestimate him is why.
Well, yeah, he can be a nuisance, but if you know how his kit works and you can get around it, but you're right. A lot of people go, "Oh, Piggy. Okay, I got this. Wait a minute, what's happening? Why is he countering all? God damn, he can pass his ton."
He's my G12, and I tried to mod him the best that I could, so he's really kind of annoying.
Yeah, he's annoying. You got to know how to handle him, but that's pretty cool. That's a good backline character.
I love throwing in a character that people aren't used to.
Sure.
So, and it's like kind of throws you off in what to use against it. It's like, okay, well, he's got all those DOTs and he's kind of tanky. How well is he going to work?
Sure.
Because people don't go up against him, so.
Sure.
Wait, please. Now your job is to stalk Avinash in Discord and just get her to give you an account. Okay.
I mean, you do what you got to do.
I'm telling you, man. You know, if you ask, you shall receive. Eventually.
No pressure.
Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure.
I could put you on my list.
You ask, you shall receive. I'm not saying you're going to get one today, but I bet you one day this girl gets an account, and you won't. It'll be better than 1.1 million GP.
Oh yeah.
So get on that Discord, and link it up.
Nobody gives me anything less than say 4.5.
That's ridiculous. For you, that's a 4 times increase. That would be like night and day. So it would give you a boost. Yep. But bear in mind, okay, now you're in if that were to happen, just devil's advocate here, you would instantly be in an arena with people that are better than also. It's not like you're just going to be like now in your arena with this new team. So I mean you're going to probably be in a higher guild. It's going to cost more money. You're probably going to have to put money into it. So if you're not putting money into it now, it's these things you got to think about. It's sometimes it's better to just kind of chillax and take things at your own pace. So,
word.
Any more questions, Maurice?
Yep. Yes. All right. Wirgle, how long until the Darth meta is gone?
Months.
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
This could potentially be the last arena meta we have.
Sure.
As they transition into Grand Arena as arena. I don't know if that's going to happen. Just
I think there will be another meta. I think it's just a matter of time here, but I think it'll happen closer to the movie.
Yes, it'll be called Balanced Revan, the real Revan. Can we have him come on down?
That could totally be a thing.
I would love to see a character that can transform themselves from the dark side to the light side. I mean, somebody that
that's Revan.
Right, that's Revan. Yeah, but it would have been nice to have one character who could do that.
I'm trying to think in history who else. There's very few in the lore that were light and dark side. I mean, the ancient Jedi were like that with Ashen and Boken.
I mean, when they first theory crafted this character, he was both a light side and a dark side character. I can tell you that for sure, 100%. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened along the way that made them change their mind and decide to split him into 2 separate characters.
I don't know.
But originally, his name was on the there was like a when they create these things, there's a pseudo name, for these characters, so. He was definitely like a character that's been in the hopper for like a long time. They just never had the right time to release him, and then I guess when they finally did, they thought it was, ideal. But I mean, they waited for the anniversary, I guess, and all that. So I'm glad they released it the way they did. It's just, I was really kind of hoping for a character that was both light side and dark side. I thought that would have been a really cool thing. I hope they still have a chance to do it. I mean, they may do it one day. Hopefully they do. But the 2 lightsabers and the whole thing that would be great.
Yep.
But anything else, Maurice?
Yeah, these would be real quick. Okay. Travis Anderson, Zeta priority on Brood.
Brute.
Yeah, unique then leadership would be my guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
I put a Zeta on Brood Alpha already, and I probably did the wrong one. Let's see what I did. He's only a 4-star character, so it's not like.
Better get on that goddamn farm. If you separate by the separatist tag up there with all those character things, it'll make it a little easier for you.
I put it on his leader actually, so. But I'm probably gonna do both. So. I mean,
you will definitely need to do both. Yeah.
You want to Brood first.
I have 6 Zetas right now, and I had 2. I put one on Newt Gunray and one on him. So.
Okay.
The other one on him.
Yeah.
Do it.
I prematurely deleted this question. I apologize. I don't know who asked it. They're asking the priority for Zeta priority for Newt, Dooku, or Brood Alpha.
Brood Alpha.
Brood Alpha.
Yes, I would do Brood Alpha's unique, Newt, and then the other 2.
Then I would do Dooku only because he's going to be used more in the TB phases.
Yeah.
At this time, and it's going to be necessary to get you through, like one of them in particular with Asajj. Because he regenerates that health and protection, and it's going to get you through that phase. Because if you don't have it, he's going to die quick.
Yeah, I mean the Geonosians are so damn important for Geo.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
and he basically makes that team tick. So you got to do both Zetas.
And I'm so glad that they are fun to play. They really are fun to play. I have two of them, alphas that are G13, and it's just great. And it's really having that G13 has really helped through a lot of those battles.
Science.
You hear that, 08 Blaze? G13 Geonosian Brood Alpha. Get on that Discord.
Science.
Get on that Discord.
Yeah.
Ask for one of the accounts that has a G13 Brood Alpha. Listen, you can never get what you don't ask for, okay? You get absolutely 0% of what you don't ask for, okay?
That would be on my main account, which is almost 5.5 at this point.
All right, so likelihood of you getting Geonosian Brood Alpha Gear 13 is probably not likely, okay? But
yeah.
But still, you get nothing if you don't try. So it's always worth a shot.
Yeah, let me put you on the list.
There's probably 40 other people on that list, so just be ready to wait. But it's worth every second. Yeah. Anyway, if that's it, we're gonna wrap up the show here pretty much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's getting late, guys. We got work tomorrow, and we'll be back next week. We'll also be here on Tuesday. You'll be meeting with good old Maurice and TMoney on their channel over at Operation Metaverse. The link is in the description for this stream, so you can click over to their show on Tuesday night. And definitely make sure to check them out. That show is great, and that's every week on Tuesday night. And then on Wednesday night, you have the Reality Skewed Gamers live show with Ranger, Grande Patron, Finity, and the whole gang over there. So definitely make sure to check that out on Wednesday night as well. And the link is in the description for that show and channel also. So definitely make sure to support the channel, support these guys as well. It always helps. It also makes us feel really warm and fuzzy inside. We will be back next Sunday. Sorry about last week, but we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one, and may the force be with you. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.